The locker room door swung open just as I was peeling off my sweat-soaked jersey, my back to the entrance, heart pounding from the brutal practice we'd just endured. Coach Harlan's voice boomed unexpectedly. "Alex, we need to talk about that last play." Freezing me in place with my shirt halfway over my head, exposed and vulnerable in a way that went beyond the physical. In that split second, as our eyes met in the mirror, something unspoken ignited. A spark that would unravel my carefully guarded life and force me to confront secrets I'd buried deep. I stood there, towel clutched around my waist, the steam from the shower still lingering in the air like a veil over my confusion. Coach Harlan Reed, the man who'd turned our small-town Ohio high school football team from losers to contenders, looked as shocked as I felt. His broad shoulders filled the doorway, his usual commanding presence softened by a flicker of hesitation in his steel blue eyes. At 35, he was the epitome of the All-American coach. Rugged, disciplined, with a jawline that could cut glass and a reputation for turning boys into men. Me? I was Alex Thompson, 18, the star quarterback who'd led us to the state semifinals. But inside, I was a mess of doubts about who I really was. "Sorry, kid. Didn't mean to barge in," he muttered, averting his gaze but not leaving. He closed the door behind him, the click echoing like a decision made. I fumbled to pull on my jeans, my mind racing. Rumors had swirled about Harlan since he arrived 2 years ago. Divorced, no kids, always keeping to himself. Some parents whispered he was too intense with the players, but I dismissed it as small-town paranoia. Now, in this charged silence, I wondered if there was more to it. We talked about the game at first, his critiques sharp but fair, dissecting my fumble in the fourth quarter. But as I laced up my sneakers, the conversation shifted. "You're carrying too much weight on those shoulders, Alex," he said, sitting on the bench across from me. "Not just the team. The whole town expects you to be perfect." His voice dropped, laced with something personal. "I know what that's like, hiding parts of yourself to fit in." I froze. Was he hinting at what I thought? In Milford, Ohio, where church steeples outnumbered traffic lights and Friday nights revolved around football and family values, being gay wasn't just taboo, it was invisible. I'd known since middle school, crushing on teammates in secret, dating girls like Sarah to keep up appearances. But Harlan? He was married once, to a woman no less. Yet here he was, opening a door I'd kept locked. By the time I left the locker room, my head was spinning. That night, at home, I replayed the moment over and over. Dad, a factory worker who'd pinned all his dreams on my football scholarship, would disown me if he knew. Mom, ever the peacemaker, might try to understand, but the town? They'd crucify us both. Still, Harlan's words lingered, a lifeline in my isolation. The next practice was awkward. I avoided his gaze during drills, but afterward, he pulled me aside. "About yesterday, let's grab coffee." "Off the record." I nodded, pulse quickening. At the diner on Main Street, away from prying eyes, we talked for hours. He shared his story. Growing up in a conservative family, marrying young to prove he was normal. The divorce when he couldn't pretend anymore. "I came here to start over," he admitted. "But coaching you, it's reminded me who I am." I confessed too, the words tumbling out like a dam breaking. The relief was intoxicating. For the first time, I wasn't alone. But as we parted, his hand brushed mine under the table. A touch that sent electricity through me. Was this friendship, mentorship, or something more? In a town where the school board preached traditional values, crossing that line could destroy everything. Weeks blurred into secret meetings, late-night drives, stolen conversations in his office. Harlan became my confidant, guiding me through the turmoil of self-acceptance. But tension built. Sarah noticed my distance, confronting me at school. "What's going on, Alex? You're like a ghost." I lied, saying it was senior stress, but guilt gnawed at me. Meanwhile, the team sensed something off. Whispers started about favoritism. One evening, after a win, the guys wanted to celebrate, but I slipped away to meet Harlan at his apartment on the outskirts. We watched game tapes, laughing over plays, but the air thickened. "You're special, Alex," he said softly, his hand on my knee. It wasn't aggressive, just tender. A moment of connection I'd craved. We didn't kiss. It wasn't about that. It was about feeling seen. But reality crashed in. The next day, Principal Myers called me in. "Rumors are flying, son. About you and Coach Reed spending too much time together." My stomach dropped. Who'd seen us? Harlan denied everything when confronted, but the damage was done. Parents complained at the next PTA meeting, citing inappropriate influence. The school board launched an informal investigation, painting Harlan as a predator without evidence. I defended him anonymously online, but it backfired. My best friend, Mike, cornered me. "Dude, if it's true, that's messed up. Coaches aren't supposed to." He trailed off, disgust in his eyes. The divide widened. Team morale plummeted. My performance suffered. Dad overheard the gossip and exploded. "If there's any truth to this, you're done with football. We don't tolerate that crap here." Torn between loyalty and fear, I distanced myself from Harlan. He understood, but the hurt in his eyes stung. "This town's poison, Alex, but you can't let it define you." As playoffs approached, the pressure mounted. Would I sacrifice my future for a bond that society deemed wrong? The semifinals loomed like a storm cloud over Milford. Practices were grueling, the field a battleground where every missed pass amplified the whispers. Harlan pushed us harder. His commands barked with an edge that hadn't been there before. I threw myself into the game, using the physicality to drown out the chaos in my head. But off the field, isolation crept in. Sarah broke up with me publicly in the cafeteria, tears streaming. "You're hiding something, Alex. I deserve better." The stairs burned. Rumors evolved from favoritism to outright accusations. Harlan and I met less frequently, opting for coded texts and quick exchanges in empty hallways. "We have to be careful," he warned during one such moment. "They're watching." Who they were remained vague: parents, teachers, maybe even the superintendent. In a community where the church hosted family purity seminars, our connection was a threat to the status quo. One night, unable to sleep, I drove to his place unannounced. He let me in, concern etching his face. We sat on his worn couch, the TV murmuring in the background. "Why fight this?" I asked, voice cracking. "Why not just leave?" He sighed, running a hand through his salt and pepper hair. "Because running means they win. And you've got potential, kid. Not just on the field." That conversation shifted something. Harlan opened up about his past more deeply. The bullying in college when a roommate outed him, the therapy sessions to reconcile his identity with his love for coaching. "Society says we're broken," he said. "But we're not. The real broken ones are those who hate what they don't understand." His words fueled my resolve, but also my anger. Why should we hide? The turning point came at a team dinner hosted by Mike's family. Amid burgers and banter, Mike's dad, a prominent businessman and school board member, steered the talk to moral decay in sports. "Heard about that coach in Texas getting fired for similar issues," he boomed, eyes on Harlan. The room tensed. Harlan stayed composed, deflecting with a joke, but I seethed. Later, in the driveway, I confronted Mike. "Your old man has no idea what he's talking about." Mike shrugged. "Come on, Alex. The coach is, into guys, that's fine for him, but around us, it's weird." The word weird hit like a punch. Was that how they saw me? I stormed off, driving aimlessly until I ended up at Harlan's again. He held me as I vented, his embrace paternal yet charged with unspoken affection. "You're brave for standing up," he murmured. In that vulnerability, our bond deepened, not physical but emotional, a quiet rebellion against the norms. But secrets have a way of unraveling. A week before the big game, an anonymous email circulated. Photos of my car outside Harlan's apartment, timestamps late at night. The school erupted. Parents demanded Harlan's resignation, citing grooming concerns. The local paper ran a story, "High school coach under scrutiny amid allegations." No proof, just innuendo, but in Milford that was enough. I was hauled into the principal's office with my parents. Dad's face was thunderous. Tell me it's not true, son. Mom clutched her purse, eyes pleading. I denied any impropriety, but the lie tasted bitter. Coach is just helping me with college apps, I said. They bought it barely. Harlan faced a closed-door meeting, emerging pale but defiant. Suspended pending review, he told me later, over a payphone to avoid traces. The team fractured. Some players boycotted practice, others rallied behind Harlan. I led the loyalists, but doubt crept in. Was our friendship worth this destruction? As the game approached, I questioned everything. My identity, my choices, the cost of authenticity in a world that demanded conformity. Game day arrived under a crisp autumn sky, the stadium packed with Milford's faithful. Without Harlan on the sidelines, replaced by an assistant, the energy felt off. I scanned the crowd. Dad in his usual seat, Mom beside him, Sarah with her new friends shooting daggers. The absence of Harlan was a void, his pregame pep talks replaced by generic motivational speeches. We took the field against our rivals from Canton, a team known for their brutal defense. The first quarter was a grind. I connected on a few passes, but my mind wandered. In the huddle, Mike muttered, "Focus, man. This drama's killing us." His words stung, a reminder of the rift. By halftime, we were down 14-7, the crowd restless. In the locker room, the assistant coach tried to rally us, but it fell flat. I stepped up. This isn't about one person. It's about us. But inside, I knew it was about more, about proving that personal truths didn't diminish our strength. The second half turned fierce. I scrambled for a touchdown, tying the score. Adrenaline surged, but so did the pressure. Post-game, amid celebrations of our narrow win, the real storm hit. Reporters swarmed not for the victory, but for the scandal. "Any comment on Coach Reed's suspension?" one asked. I froze, microphone in my face. "He's a great coach," I stammered. "The rest is bullshit." The word slipped out, broadcast live on local TV. Dad was furious when I got home. "You embarrassed the family." That night, Harlan called from a burner phone. "You didn't have to do that." His voice was weary. "But thank you." We talked strategy, not for football, but for survival. He planned to fight the suspension, hiring a lawyer from Cleveland specializing in LGBTQ rights. "This isn't just about us," he said. "It's about every kid like you in towns like this." Inspired, I researched online, discovering organizations like GLAAD and stories of outed athletes. But Milford's backlash intensified. A church group picketed the school, signs reading, "Protect our children." Classmates divided. Some supported me subtly, others ostracized. Even Mom confided, "I love you no matter what, Alex," hinting she suspected. The investigation dragged on, interviews grueling. I testified to Harlan's integrity, omitting our personal talks. But a leaked email from a parent accused us of an unnatural relationship, sparking national attention. Social media exploded, hashtags like Save Milford Kids versus Stand with Coach Reed. Strangers debated our lives, reducing us to stereotypes. Amid the chaos, Harlan and I met one last time before his hearing, in a park outside town. "If they fire me, I'll leave," he said. "But you stay strong. Get that scholarship." His hand squeezed mine, a farewell laced with regret. As we parted, rain began to fall, mirroring my turmoil. Was this the end, or a beginning? The hearing was public, the school auditorium packed. Harlan's lawyer argued discrimination, presenting character witnesses. Opponents cited community standards. I watched from the back, heart in throat. When called, I spoke. "Coach Reed believed in me when no one else did." "That's not wrong." The room murmured. In the end, they cleared him of misconduct but suggested he resign for the good of the team. Harlan refused, forcing a vote. Passed narrowly, he was out. The decision ignited protests. Students walked out, chanting for equality. But victory felt hollow. With Harlan gone, the team limped to the finals, but my spark dimmed. I played mechanically, securing a win that tasted like ashes. College scouts still came, offering scholarships, but Milford had changed. Graffiti on my locker. "Fag lover." Anonymous threats online. Dad barely spoke to me, burying himself in work. Harlan moved to Columbus, taking a job at a community center coaching underprivileged kids. We stayed in touch via encrypted apps, our conversations a lifeline. "You're free now," he texted. Live openly. But was I? Graduation loomed, and with it, choices. Stay local or escape to a big city university. Sarah approached me at prom, which I attended solo. "I get it now," she said softly. "I'm sorry." Her apology was genuine. A bridge mended. Mike, too, came around after a heated argument. "I was scared, man. Didn't want to lose you as a friend." Reconciliation brought relief, but scars remained. Summer brought reflection. I volunteered at the local LGBTQ center, inspired by Harlan. There, I met others, teens navigating similar storms. One, a quiet kid named Jamie, reminded me of myself. Mentoring him, I realized the ripple effect of our story. Harlan visited once under the radar. We hiked in the state park talking futures. "I regret nothing," he said, gazing at the horizon. "You taught me to hope again." Our bond had evolved, less intense, more enduring. Not lovers, but soulmates in struggle. But society pushed back. A conservative group sued the school for promoting deviance by not firing Harlan sooner. The case made headlines, dragging us into the spotlight. Pundits debated. Was mentorship crossing boundaries? In interviews, I defended, "Connection isn't corruption." Harlan echoed, "Love in any form builds, not breaks." The trial was grueling, testimonies exposing prejudices. A psychologist testified on grooming myths, debunking accusations. Supporters rallied, national orgs, celebrities tweeting solidarity. Opponents clung to tradition, fearing change. In the end, the judge ruled in the school's favor, but the publicity shifted public opinion. Milford's church even hosted a dialogue event, a small step toward acceptance. As I packed for college, NYU, far from Ohio's judgments, I reflected on the journey. Harlan's unexpected entry into my life had shattered illusions, forcing growth amid pain. New York was a revelation. Bustling streets, diverse crowds where being gay was mundane, not monumental. I thrived in classes, joined the Queer Alliance, dated openly for the first time. Harlan and I Skyped weekly. He flourished in Columbus, advocating for inclusive sports programs. Our story inspired a podcast episode, anonymized but resonant. But echoes lingered. Back home for Thanksgiving, tensions flared. Dad confronted me. "I read the articles. Is it true?" I nodded, bracing. To my shock, he hugged me. "I was wrong, son. Fear made me blind." Mom beamed. Reconciliation mended old wounds. Not all endings were tidy. The school board faced backlash, leading to policy changes on discrimination. Harlan returned to coaching at a progressive high school, his reputation restored. Yet controversies persisted. Online forums debated our inappropriate bond-age gap power dynamic. Some called it predatory, others transformative. I pondered. In a society quick to judge, where's the line between guidance and affection? As years passed, I graduated, became a sports journalist focusing on LGBTQ athletes. Harlan retired, writing a memoir. We reunited at book signings, our friendship a testament to resilience. Looking back, that locker room moment wasn't just an intrusion, it was an invitation to authenticity. Through drama and division, we challenged norms, sparking change. Was it ethical for a coach to form such a deep emotional bond with a player, blurring professional lines in pursuit of personal truth?